Hey guys, welcome to my channel Black Lens, and today we'll be talking about the much anticipated topic, which is green cards.
Big gun.
Like the different ways of obtaining a green card. But since it's going to be like a broad video, like a very long video, if I wanted to talk about everything, it's going to take forever. So what I'll do is I'll put this video into parts and I'll create a playlist for it called green card. So when you want, like when you want a certain type of green card, you just go into that playlist and pick whatever video that you're interested in. What is a green card? A green card is a legal document that allows you to permanently live and work in the United States. Green card is an informal name. Usually it is permanent residence card. That is the formal name for it. But they call it green card just because the card is green. So it's been given that informal. We'll talk about five major ways of getting a green card. I have my notes here to help me uh, remember. So we have the family-based green card, and I'll talk about everything just in a minute. We have the family-based green card. We have employment-based green card. We have diversity immigrant visa program, which is also known as the green card lottery. We have investor-based, and we have special immigrants. So these are the five categories of getting green card. Like I said, I'll go through brief descriptions about each one. When we come to family-based green card, that is the most common way of obtaining green card, where you have a family member living in the US or whatever. You ask them, hey, can you send me an invitation? And they try to um, submit documents saying basically the invitation. What it means is they are taking 100% ownership of you coming to the US, because you don't want to come and be a burden to the government. So basically your family member is saying that, look, I want this person to come and I'll take full responsibility for it. And that is what other countries call an invite. When we go to employment-based employment-based green card or immigration is where, like, if you are in certain career fields, for example medical, certain types of jobs, maybe in the oil field, engineering, something like that, you could apply to a company from where you are right now. So for example, if you're in Kenya, you apply for a job in the US and be like, okay, I have all these qualifications, I want to work. And then the company will be like, okay, in exchange for working this number of years, we will file a green card for you to come to the US. And moving on to diversity immigrant visa program, which is the green card lottery. Green card lottery, what happens is usually every year the government makes room for certain people to come to the US. And one of the things that make the US a very strong nation is we are dominated by different ethnicities. There's like different cultures here. So for example, when it comes to basketball, you have black people who dominate. When it comes to certain sports, you have Caucasians who dominate. When it comes to certain things, Asians dominate. And all these together makes United States a powerful country. So they open up green card applications for other countries, right? So you go, they usually have a booth that says green card visa lottery or something. You go, you sign up for it, and then it's based on a luck. So hopefully, like, if your luck shines and they pick you because it's a lottery, when they pick you, then you start the process for the green card, and then you move to the United States. So that is another way that they do it. And there is the fourth one, which is the investor based. So if you have an uncle or a dad or whatever who is super rich, who can just pump $500,000 into the United States economy, or $1 million. So 500 should be able to provide 5 full-time jobs, and then the 1 million is supposed to provide 10 full-time jobs. What the government will do in exchange for that is it will give you a green card, and your immediate family will also get a green card to come to the US anytime. Fifth point is special immigrant. Special immigrant is the least popular one, because the all of them are strict, but special immigrants is like more strict because for example, your country needs to be torn apart by war, like you fear for your safety, there is no food, there is drought, you feel like you're in danger every single time, and be able to prove it. And now with that, you can go to the United States Embassy in your country and let them know the situation that you are currently going through. There's an investigation done to find out that what you're saying is true. Now, when that is true, you can seek asylum in the United States. And basically, what the United States is saying that come and we, the government, to take care of. So for them to take that burden, on them, they want to make sure that you are truly, really going through such challenges. But for today's video, we'll be talking solely on family based, since that's the most common way people come into the US. We'll talk about that. And what is really family based immigration? Family based immigration is when, like, your father or your mom, who is in the US, a green card holder or US citizen, is like, you know what, I have a child over in, let's say, Liberia. I have a child in Liberia, and I'm trying to get my child to come stay with me here in the US. So your mom or dad puts in the paperwork and everything. You go for an appointment at the US embassy in your country. They do the appointment, everything clears, you get your visa and everything. They put the paperwork for green card, all those things. That whole process is what's called a family-based immigration. Talk about family-based immigration. It is divided into three main groups. So we have immediate relative category, we have family preference category, and we have other relationship. We'll look at some of the pros and cons about immediate relative category. Now, when I say immediate relative category, the pros the pros for immediate relative category are shorter times. So when you apply for a green card, from the time you start the process of applying for a green card, it usually takes anywhere between 3 months to 18 months to get your green card. So it's a very short process compared to the other one. Another pro to it is there's no limit to the number of people that you can bring into the US. For example, if I was a US citizen and I was trying to bring my kids from South Africa to the US, well, the US already knows that there's just so many kids I can have. So there is no really limit. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. There is no limit on the number of people that you can, because they know that the most you can bring is like 6, 7 children. Really, I mean, most people are having 2 kids today, so that is why there's no limit on that. Now, the cons about this is that it's only limited to a specific group of people, and I'll talk about that specific group of people. So, for example, if I'm a US citizen, I can bring my spouse. So, let me give a clearer example. Say I live here in the US, right? I'm married to a lady who is in Mozambique, and I'm a US citizen. I can file for that lady to come out here, my wife from Mozambique to come out here. That is the first category. And then I can also file, say I'm a man or a woman, a US citizen, or green card holder in this situation. I can file for my children that are under 21 years. So give another example. Say I'm in the US, right? And my kids are in Jamaica, right? And I want them to come out here. As long as they are under 21 years old and are unmarried, they're also going to fall between that 3 to 18 months period. Once I file for them, it will take 3 to 18 months and they'll be out here in the US. And parent of a US citizen, so who is at least 21 years old. That's the third category. The third category is, so I'm in the US, same person, and I'm above 21 years old. I'm a US citizen or a green card holder. What I can do is I can file for my parents. So let's say my parents are in Rwanda, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get my mom and dad out here to stay with me. That's the third category, because they also fall between the 3 to 18 months gap. I'll go over it again. The spouse, unmarried children under 21 years, and parent of US citizens. These 3 people are the only ones considered immediate family. So you know how we talked about the immediate relative where it was just the spouse, the children, the parents. When we come to family preference group, this is when you can file for other people. For example, if you have children that are above 21 years old, if you are trying to file for maybe um, an adopted child that is not like a biological child will fall under the first group, adopted child will fall under the family preference group. If you're trying to file for a relative who is not direct, like a direct child or whatever, you can file for them through this family preference group. Now the cons is there is limited number of people the US allows every year per family. So you can't just file for 20 family members to all come out to the US. There is a specific number that the US allows every year, and it is based on the economy or whatever. Another con is that there is a significant wait time for up to 20 years. So, for example, let's say I'm here and I'm trying to file for my niece to come to the US. Because my niece is not directly connected to me, it can take up to 20 years for that person to come. And this is what most people don't understand. They are like, oh, he was able to take his son, but he's not able to take me, right? Because his son falls under immediate family. Immediate family is 3 to 18 months. He's going to get it. He might use the same procedure to try to file for you, but yours can take up to 20 years because you are not directly connected to that person. So that is why when you have someone at abroad and you're like, can you send me an invite to come? And they seem not to be able to do it. The reason is because you are not directly related to them. Like they don't consider you an immediate family member. That is why they can't just bring you. And it takes a long time. They tell you to do other things. They say go to school. They are filing for you. Whenever they hear something, they'll let you know. You might think that they are just preventing you from coming, but the law actually says that it can take up to 20 years to be granted. So who exactly falls under the family preference category? We have unmarried adult sons and daughters aged 21 and over of US citizen. An example, I'm in the US, but I have children back in Liberia, right? My children are in Liberia, but they are 21 years and over. Even though they are connected to me, they are my immediate family, the fact that they are 21 and over moves them from the immediate family category and it places them in the family preference category. So the fact that once you cross 21, that's why it's very important that they start the paperwork as soon as possible. Because once you hit that 21-year mark, you fall into a different group, which can take up to 20 years for you to come to the US. So that is very, very important. The second category that falls under the family preferences, spouses and unmarried children of permanent residents. So if you're a US citizen, right, your spouse, you can file for your spouse. Let me give a typical example. I'm in the US, my spouse is in Ghana. What I can do is, I'm a US citizen, right? That is very important. Let me clarify that. I'm a US citizen and I'm trying to file for my spouse for Ghana. She'll fall into the 3 months to 18 months category. Now, this same person, me, but this time around, I'm a green card holder and I'm trying to file for my spouse to come. She no longer falls under the family, the immediate family. She falls under the family preference. And you might be confused and ask, why is there a difference? Because one is a United States citizen, one is a green card holder trying to file for their spouse. These are two different things. Just because they both have spouses doesn't mean that they both fall under the same category. Another group that falls under this place is unmarried adult sons and daughters of permanent resident. So you can have children who aren't married, who are under 21 years, but if whoever that is filing for them is a green card holder, it puts them under this family preference. So they also have the wait time up to 20 years. So you guys make sure you know the difference between who is filing for you. A US citizen and a green card holder can really determine how fast or how late it takes for you to get here. And then we have another category that falls under this is married sons and daughters, any age of US citizens. So if even your dad or mom is a US citizen, but you are his child, right? And you are married, the fact that you are married moves you from immediate family to family preference. So if you also have a wife, then it means that yes, he can file for you, but it could take up to 20 years for you to get your green card to come out here. So there's a huge difference between being married and not being married, and having a sponsor who is a US citizen. So, brothers and sisters, so let's say I'm in the US, I have a little sister in where? Egypt. I have a little sister in Egypt, right? And I'm trying to get my little sister to come out here, even though she's related to me directly, but she falls into a different category. She doesn't fall into immediate family. Remember, immediate family is wife and children and parent. These three. Apart from them, anyone else falls under the family preference. So my sisters, my brothers will all fall into family preference. Now, I just want to clarify one more thing, which is very important. There seems to be a confusion between green card holders and US citizens. US citizens are people who have allegiance, they are committed 100% to the United States. They don't have a dual citizenship with a different country, none of that. So even though they are born in a different country, once you become a United States citizen, you owe 100% allegiance to this country. And with that comes some privileges. That's why when you file for certain people, they're able to come out here early because they consider you part of the people. Now I talked about other relationships, which was the third category. Um, we have fiancés of U.S. citizens. So if your spouse, not your spouse really, let's say you're dating this person or you're engaged to this person that you guys are about to get married, right? And the person is in the US. Maybe you guys met online or whatever, and the person is trying to move you from your home country. I'll give an example. You met a guy online who is a US citizen, right? And you are from Gambia. You are from Gambia, and this guy is trying to get you to come stay with him out here in the United States, right? What you can do is you can file for a fiancé visa, where they will allow you to come to the US with the intention of getting married. It's very important. The intention of getting married is very important because you have a 90-day cap where you need to get married by that time. So usually some of the things that they ask for during this process is like wedding reservations. They want to see proof that you guys are really going to get married. The second one is a widow or a widower of a US citizen may be eligible to apply for a green card. So for example, let's say um, I'll use I'll use another example. I'm a US citizen here in the US. I married a lady in Senegal. I married a beautiful lady in Senegal. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to bring this lady out to come stay with me in the US. But maybe something happened and I died while I was here in the US. Now, what that means is that even though I'm physically not present in the US, but the fact that I was a US citizen when I married this lady means that she can also come through this third channel as a green card holder. That's the privilege she gets for being married to a US citizen. These are the different ways of coming into the United States. I hope I've been able to clarify the rights that a US citizen has compared to the one that a green card holder has. So don't just think that everyone out here in the US can just be handing out invitations for people to come. There's a huge difference between what a US citizen can do, and there's a difference between what a green card holder can do. feel free to hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions at all, like in regards to explanation or anything, leave them in the comment section below. Or if you just any comment that you want to encourage the channel, feel free to leave it. And also, guys, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the YouTube algorithms to push my videos out there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.